Yo, what up? And welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is. I guess I have to check because I never know. It is Monday, the 28th of October 2013, and I'm your host, Ant-Man. So, Barackolypse now. It's just funny to say. No, really, it isn't. Dailyclash.com is where I got this article from, and I got it right in front of me, and it's entitled Barackolypse Now. Slavery is legal again, and food stamp zombies want all your candy. So, by Donald Joy. He's the real writer of this. I just reported. I'm not a real journalist. But, this is a thing I do because it's not like, I don't want anybody to look at me as if I think I know something. I just want to be informative and then encourage you to go look at stuff for yourself. That's why I made this channel. It's not so I could be like, hey, look at me, because I really don't care. I'm not trying to win a popularity contest, obviously, because a lot of you think I'm crazy. But thank you, atheists and whatever you are, to my channel, because you might learn something. Trick or treat, the word, according to Neil Cavuto, is that the gazillions of food stamp recipients across the land are to have their benefits reduced as of November 1st. And that the Department of Homeland Security is gearing up for widespread riots. Holy crap! Sorry, you guys, it's scary to me, because I know it's real. Such wonders abound in our neo-socialist dystopia of hope and change. For the past several years, the Obama administration has aggressively sought to solidify and expand the Democrat Party's grip on power by encouraging as many people as they possibly can to sign up for food stamps and other government programs. Did you know that there are more people on food stamps right now than there is people working in this country? That's a new statistic, man. I mean, when I read that, my jaw dropped, man. That's real bad, you guys. That's not good at all. And then you got NBC and all your alphabet soup, dinosaur media, freaking propaganda machines telling you that they're always pumping money into the, trying to get jobs, and that there's as much. It's just bull. It's bull that they even claim that there's that many jobs and that the unemployment rate is so low, because it's a bold-faced lie. I get angry whenever my phone goes off and it says, "Oh, unemployment rate is 7.4%." It's a lie. It's I wish it was that. I'd probably, I wouldn't make such a big deal out of this, because it wouldn't be a big deal. But such wonders abound in our neo-socialist dystopia of hope and change. For the past several years, the Obama administration, I just read that. Let's see, I'll just read it again. Has aggressively sought to solidify and expand the Democrats' party's grip on power by encouraging as many people as they possibly can to sign up for food stamps and other government programs to make dependency on government a way of life, and more generations of future voters. For more and more generations of future voters. For most readers, this is by now an elementary fact of political life. Problem is, the free lunch tree is being stripped of goodies very quickly. Remember that story from about a month ago where the socialist regime in Venezuela was stationing armed troops inside toilet paper factories in order to enforce production and distribution quotas due to severe shortages resulting from price controls. Seems that certain centrally planned economies can never satisfy human demands for goods and services, no matter how many times central planning is tried. Nor does it matter who is doing the planning. Government's proper role is not to feed and take care of people, nor could it do so adequately even if that was its job. Instead, government should promote the general welfare by helping to create conditions which allow people to prosper in freedom chiefly by protecting individual rights, especially property rights. Well, we can see where that's going. I mean, evangelical Christianity is now considered politically correct. It's considered religious extremism, and that it's a threat to our country. That is a army manual that says that. And it's like, I believe, because it's true, by the way, that my property also is what my beliefs are and my worldview. That's my property. You cannot take my property from me. It's an unalienable right that is God-given. So you cannot tell me that what I believe in is... Well, let's just put it this way. The state is God and not God. To repeat a quote often attributed to our country's first president, George Washington, a man who knew a little something about the proper role of limited government, he refused the suggestion by some that he be crowned king of the new nation of America, and rebuked those who suggested it. Government is not reason. It is not eloquence. It is force, like fire. It is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Never for a moment should it be left to irresponsible action. Today we are evolving into more and more of a democracy, rather than the republic once cherished by those who fought so long and hard for liberty. Increasingly, the masses of people can simply vote themselves less personal responsibility, and more of the property reduced by others by electing Democrats to use the force of government to redistribute goods. Redistribute goods? Are you kidding me? How much longer do you suppose before stuff here is inadequately produced at gunpoint like in Venezuela? Eminent black economist Walter Williams points out that during the time when chattel slavery was legal on this continent, there was, in addition to the usual plantation-bound field hand arrangement, a sort of journeyman category of skilled slaves who actually lived rather independently from their owners. They piled their particular specialized trades according to their own comings and goings, and often had families and homes separate from their masters. However, the extent of their being slaves in bondage was that their masters still owned them, and owned what they produced. Their earnings were turned over to their masters, who allowed them to keep enough to maintain their separate livelihoods. If they tried to evade this relatively liberal arrangement in any way, they could be legally dealt with, and harshly, their owners resorting to bounties and whatnot if necessary. Compare such a category of chattel slave of yesteryear with the taxpayer of today. Is there really that much a difference? I say this over and over again. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, I always say this. The matrix that is what we live in today is that you're free. But I don't see it that way, because the people that are leading us in this country are so smart at not using their own money. They use your money to do what they want. That's how, those are real, it's funny that there's gangbangers still in society. It's 2013 and there's people that are still trying to gangbang, and that's like something from the 90s. It's like, what year are you living in, it's just hilarious to me kind of. But really it's not, because there's a lot of lost people out there living in falsehood, and that only leads to tragedy. But anyways, I say this all the time, the real gangbangers are the guys that are playing politics right now, that are really not listening to what you want. They just want to use your money to do stuff like kill Christians in Syria, or give nukes to other countries. Or it's not good, man. Your taxpayer dollars are supporting a agenda that is not good for you as a taxpayer. It's not in your best interest what they want. And hey, I'm not the best at explaining this kind of stuff, but all I can say is that I can clearly see it, and when someone explains to me these things, I can understand it, and I can say, oh yeah, you're right. Because, you see, at a young age, I was very naive. I used to read Bible stories and stuff like that, and so I thought it was really easy to be a good person. I thought it was, but then I was really, really scratching my head when I looked around and saw people willingly being mean to other people. I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? I was that naive. But what I got from that is that I understand that people who live in sin and that practice it, they've always pushed the boundaries and tested the waters of how much they can get away with. Our government looks at us like we're stupid. They think that they can do anything and we'll put up with anything. And it's really what I think liberals don't know who they're picking a fight with. I don't even think our own military has a chance in hell against the general, the citizens that are not even Republican, Democrat, but libertarians, constitutionalists. They have no chance against them, man. You're picking a fight with someone you can't fight against. You're out of your league. Liberals, in my opinion, they go around and they poke their... This happened to me the other day. I was preaching the gospel to my friend, who I thought was my friend, and he's very atheist, I guess, because he took it very offensively that I told him that, that I showed him through the Ten Commandments that is a mirror for you to see that you're not a good person, man. And he got so offended that he assaulted me. And then I just realized right there that, liberals, they try to pick a fight with you, but then when you stand up to them and they see your zeal, they see how that the things that you believe in, that you're willing to die for, it's righteousness, man. Like, they'll come and they'll poke in your chest and poke and think that they can intimidate you, but the moment that you turn into that bold lion, they are running for the hills, man. They are running for their lives, because they don't understand who they're picking a fight with. They are totally perverted, and their motives are inspired by that. Like it says in the Bible, they suppress the truth and unrighteousness, pursuing after their own lusts. Of course they're not open to discussion. They're intolerant. They don't want to have anybody break the little box that they live in. You know what I mean? Like, oh, how dare you show me reality? I want to live this yuppie lifestyle, and how dare you tell me I'm a bad person? But anyways, let's see. This guy is saying that, they piled their particular specialized trades according to their own comings and goings, and often had families and homes separate from their masters. I already read that. Compare such a category, and I read that too. The more skilled and productive the taxpayer, the more of his or her product that the voting Democrat masters seize, leaving him or her, if the taxpayer's slave happens to be very resourceful, enough to enjoy a tidy of even splendiferous separate existence. Yes, but the arrangement really is no different in its essential character. We also have some very wealthy and highly skilled slaves today, only owned by a multitude of Democrat voters, helping themselves to upwards of half of what the slaves produce. That's right, you guys. It's sad when you look at your paycheck and you see half of it gone. Half of your paycheck's gone because there's a federal government that really owns you. But for people out there that they think like working is all that there is to being successful in life, it's really a cop-out, because, you know what I mean? Like, why do people have to take vacations? Why do they have to take vacations from their job? Maybe they should pick a job that they like to do so that they never have to go on vacation. You know what I mean? Like, do something you love. You see, it's in the Bible to be it's a virtuous thing to look at it this way. Instead of serving money for the sake of earning money, serve other people with your talents and gifts. Don't serve money with your talents and gifts. Serve other people with your talents and gifts. This is how God can use you and bless you. When you just look at it like working in a job as that's the normal thing and that's how you're successful, and if you're not working, you're a piece of garbage. That's not, there are other ways to being successful. And to just work for the sake of making money. Money is it's good. You can't do anything without it, but it's not what you should be after. It's not the prize. It's a way of getting to that, but it's not what you should be focusing on, because it's like, what do people with money want? They want more money, and it's never satisfied. But as long as the American general public always thinks that working is the only thing that matters, and that's, hey, sell your soul and to just make $8 an hour, you know what I mean? Like, it should be looked at differently. You should use what you're good at to produce what your livelihood, for example. But how I can help you understand that, I don't know, because you can't serve money and you can't serve God. You got to serve one or the other. You're going to hate one and you're going to love the other. It doesn't matter, because what do you rely on? What do you put your trust in? Money is what it is. It's a debt note. It means that you're in debt, because people used to use precious metals once upon a time. And then when people wanted banks and they wanted debt notes, the founding fathers warned us. They said, hey, the banks are smarter than you, and they could charge you interest, and they can make you poor, and they can become super hardcore powerful through this. And what do we got today? Absolute total tyranny and slavery because of money. The love of money, my friend. It's not money, but the love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. Money is a means to things, man. It's not a it's just, I don't know how to explain this to yuppies, but, and I don't make excuses either for the economy being so hard that it's so hard to get a job, so I'm not going to go look for a job. I'm not going to make that excuse, because I believe in God and that He's the one that opens doors for me, not kissing people's butts. I will never kiss your butt because I want a job from you. And that's the kind of stuff that we see today, man, and it's everywhere. Like, I kiss a lot of butt to get where I'm at, and it's just like, whoa, well, hey, I guess I'm rich in spirit, you know what I mean? I'm poor, I guess. I don't, you know what I mean? But I mean, I'm middle class, I guess you can say, but I'm rich in spirit, man, and that's gonna count. That counts a lot in a lot of things, man. I mean, being poor and morally bankrupt, you can only go from being lost to going to being lost again in different ways, and from I go from glory to glory while others are going from lost to being more lost, and it's just, I've been there before, believe me, man. I mean, it's sad that you have to come to the end of yourself to realize what's really important, but a lot of people won't listen to the warnings that people try to give them, but, they'll go and they'll find out on their own that it's hard out there, and that, when Jesus is with you, though, it's powerful, man, and it's a supernatural thing, man, and it's hard to explain. Compare such a category, the more skilled. I think I already read that. So all of this can just continue on indefinitely, right? No, you mean to tell me the takers are vastly outbreeding and outvoting the makers? You're saying the makers are becoming delusioned and discouraged? Yes, indeedy. An Investor's Business Daily headline from yesterday reads, "Welfare, not full-time work, is now America's #1 occupation." Well, yeah, I mean, in today's society, dude, I always see guys my age bragging that they get money from the government. Like it's like they're smart. No, man, you're being used. You're a useful idiot, in the words of Joseph Stalin. You're just a useful idiot. You're helping the government push an agenda which is bankrupt us all. If you're on government welfare and you're proud of that, you're proud of being lazy and using hardworking people's money to buy drugs and to do whatever you want, you are a useful idiot to the agenda that is behind all of this. They're going to destroy the middle class with Obamacare. You know that, right? They're going to destroy it. They're going to make us all poor, man. And when you really see this stuff, man, it's scary, man. I don't even like talking about it lightly because I know that it's real. It's real, man. It's being planned for you right now. And they're conditioning you to it with all these movies and video games and TVs and TV shows. You can see that they're conditioning you to that. They want you to be stupid. They want you to think that the norm is being stupid and not caring about anything, man. And being liberal and being all about homosexuality and being all about abortion and all these things that are not good, man. You got to look past the whole thing of women have a choice or they don't. It's murder. It's immoral, man. And it's a shame that it's so heavily pushed by people who are misled to believing it's good. There's something more dangerous behind all this. That's why I always say the Satanist is way smarter than you atheists, because the Satanists are using you guys to push their agendas. Now, am I worried about any of this? No, because I have this peace that Jesus gives me, so I'm not worried because I have faith and I trust that God's gonna bring me out of this, no matter what. It's all gonna work for the good. The bad and the good's gonna work for the greater good in all this. Who I'm really worried about and who I'm really shaking in my boots for are you guys that are not seeing this. You guys think it's just, you guys can pick your own reality and just say, this isn't going on as long as I believe it's not going on. You're going to get caught off guard and you're not going to know what's going on when the proverbial hits the fan. All right? It's a big deal, you guys. And how it can change, it starts with you. It starts with you seeking the truth and being open-minded. Don't be so, just because a guy's so eloquent and good at speaking and he smiles and wears a suit doesn't mean you can trust him. I wouldn't even say trust me, believe me. I don't like hearing that. If somebody's telling me trust me, believe me, that's more of a reason for me to discern and challenge and test him for what he's actually saying. I mean, it's just, don't tell me to believe you. That sounds like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what I mean? It's just blind to just trust in people for the way that they portray themselves on the outside. It matters who you are on the inside. And you will know a tree by its fruit, man. So if a guy's not keeping his word and he says he's for something but he's not on the outside, then what does that mean? That he's openly deceiving you and he's, this is all scientific dictatorship stuff. If you don't understand that, there's no point of me even explaining it. But I really encourage you to make time to seek out the truth and not just be, I don't know, man, watching MTV all day. Because, man, when I go on Facebook, I tell you, man, I grieve. I am grieving a lot because all I see on Facebook is people looking at these memes. Like I saw this meme the other day. It was like me at 5 a.m. and it's like a guy falling over drunk. And then it says me at 6 a.m. ready to work. And it's just a guy and he's ready to work. Yeah, like that's funny because I know people that are like that too. But if that's all you're focused on is like mediocrity and like making these memes and sending them to your friends, like, ha ha ha, this reminds me of me and you. Oh man, you guys, we're in trouble. We're in trouble if that's all your mind is on. If all your mind is on this mediocrity and garbage and pornography, you're gonna be, man, that's spiritual oppression, man. That's being depraved. That's not good. And I don't care how many people are behind you saying, screw it, let's just make up our own rules, Hey man, you can believe that if you want, but it's like falling from I can make an analogy for it, but there's really no point because if you don't understand the things that go on here in the physical, the things that you can see, that you can research for yourself, I cannot expect you to understand spiritual things. Because spiritual things are much harder to understand than the things that are so obvious in your face. And evil is in your face and obvious nowadays. Like, it doesn't care it's evil and obvious. You know what I mean? It doesn't care. It's blatant and in your face nowadays. It's like, hey, this is normal. Jesus effing Christ, over and over. That's all I hear. And it's like, hey, man, you might not tolerate me, but I wouldn't, you know. Why? Why are you attacking Christianity, but you are so tolerant toward everything else? Is that, God, you hate God, or you don't want anybody telling you what to do, so you're going to attack me. Well, anyways, I'm going to just shut up. You guys, God bless you and have a good day. Seek the truth, man, and you will find it.